Is messaging the future of customer support? I'm Tonya Hall for ZDNet and Tech Republic, and joining me is Joshua March. He is the founder and CEO of Conversocial and author of the book, Message Me. Welcome, Joshua.
Hi, great to be on.
What does Conversocial do?
We're a digital customer service platform that helps business invest into social messaging as a service channel. So, instead of emailing or phoning a business, you can just message them on your phone using something like Facebook Messenger. Behind the scenes, that brand is using our software to enable them to do that at really large scale, both human-powered and through automation.
Conversocial has a YouTube video showing a lady running late for a flight. Tell us about how the customer cry for help plays out.
Sure. When we started, we've been going a little while, and when we started, the initial vision of the business was really like, how people communicate is changing. It's moving into smartphones, it's moving into social media, all these new ways of communicating. And we really wanted to build software that would help businesses manage their communication and customer service through all of these new channels. Now, when we started, the big shift that happened a few years ago was really the rise of kind of public social media, and people started to use it to escalate complaints up, right? They were having some kind of issue, they were having some kind of problem, and often they were like, they were on the go, they didn't have time to like phone up and wait on hold, or they'd send an email and it would take days to get a response and it was too slow, or they wouldn't get they just couldn't get help the normal channels. And so they would turn to tweeting publicly as a way of like, saying, hey, like you need to respond to this, pay attention to me. And what quickly started to happen was that businesses who ignored that started to really be punished by it. People would be retweeting the tweets, people would get more and more upset publicly, and it can have a really negative impact on the brand. And so, what we really started doing was giving them the tools to businesses so that they could stay on top and find these people who are complaining publicly and actually resolve those issues. And that's still, a big part of the business today. But the big shift, even bigger shift that's really started to happen over the last couple of years, and the last year especially, has been the rise of messaging. So, basically starting with Facebook Messenger a few years ago, they started to really invest into business messaging as a capability on top of these apps. And now all of the apps are doing it, which I'll talk about. But, no brand no brand wants to encourage someone to complain publicly, but they're more than happy to say, message us. It's one-on-one, it's private. And what we found is that from a consumer perspective, being able to message a company off your phone is so much more convenient and so much easier than like most traditional customer service channels. But it's just a much better experience. You get a higher CSAT and NPS scores. It's easier for the brand to manage. It's kind of like texting a friend. And so increasingly businesses today, you go to their contact us page and it says message us, instead of email us, or alongside email and phone. And a lot of people now, just when they have a question, they have a problem, instead of using those traditional channels, are just going straight to Messenger, or the other messaging channels that are arising. So that's the core shift that's happened.
To your point, I mean, messaging has really taken over from a business perspective. Consumers are expecting businesses to communicate with them. So let's drill down on that. I mean, you talk about WhatsApp, Apple Business Chat. What do your own case studies tell you about how customer support channels have actually changed?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we see is that it's a pretty dramatic change. As soon as a company puts like a message us link, a message us button, or the messenger chat widget onto their website, within 2 weeks, there'll be a massive deflection away from traditional service channels like email and chat and a bit into phone, where, basically overnight, the company will go to like 20-30% of all of their customer service volume coming through messaging, or even higher. We have one client Valeris, they're the second biggest airline in Mexico. And they replaced their traditional web chat with messenger chat. Now, messenger chat looks like a normal web chat on their website. So you can interact in real time with their agents on their website, but it's powered by Facebook Messenger. It's really cool because, if you stop the conversation and come back a week later, it's there, you continue where you left off, or you can shut your computer down and just continue the same conversation in the Messenger app on your phone, which is really, really cool experience for customers. So they actually promote it on their website in that way. And now over 60% of all of their customer service is coming through messaging. The bigger than phone and email combined, pretty dramatic change. So it's really becoming the kind of default way that people interact. And most of this growth in the last year has been through Facebook Messenger. As you started mentioning, WhatsApp are just starting to open up their business accounts right now. Apple are just starting to open business interactions through iMessage, which everyone with an iPhone uses. And those two channels, I think, are going to be really, really game changing over the next year and a half. They're both in the kind of gradual opening up phase right now. Both of them will be kind of flinging the doors open in Q1 to let all businesses come on. And WhatsApp is just completely dominant as soon as you go outside the US. South America, UK, Europe, India, basically everyone is using WhatsApp for everything all the time. It's 3 times the size of what SMS was. Obviously in the US, WhatsApp hasn't really developed, but everyone's on iPhone, everyone's using Messenger, everyone's using Apple Business Chat. So both of those channels are going to be really, really big.
How are you using machine learning and artificial intelligence, bots, all of that to route, prioritize, and handle those conversations?
Yeah, so bots and AI is a really exciting area. It's also an area where there was a lot of hype a year and a half ago, and then most of the bots that came out were really rubbish and didn't have a very good impact. And people were like, "Oh, what's up with all of this?" But the really exciting thing about messaging is that because it's asynchronous, it's kind of like texting your friends. You think about when you're texting a friend, you send a message, you go and do other stuff. Your friend messages you back in 5-10 minutes. That's still a pretty real-time messaging conversation. It's very different to being on the phone or in a live chat on the website where you kind of need a response within seconds. And that delay means that you can combine bots and humans in the same conversation in a really seamless way. So you as a consumer, if I'm a brand, you send a message and it's a simple question, a bot can respond to that simple question. You follow up with a more complex question that the bot can't understand. The bot doesn't have to tell you it doesn't understand. There doesn't have to be any, just behind the scenes, it can route that to a human agent who can get back to you 5 minutes later and respond. So for you as a consumer, you don't really need to know, is it a bot, is it a human? You just ask your question and you're getting a response quickly. Behind the scenes, there's a combination of human agents supported by AI and automation who can respond to that.
But don't you think that bots should self-identify, or does it matter?
I think it depends on the situation. If you're trying to build a bot that is completely standalone, that is having the entire conversation back and forth, then I think it makes sense, especially right now, to be clear. Hey, this is an automated assistant. This is some kind of bot that you're going to have the conversation with. And partly that's because if you ask a question that the bot doesn't understand, it can be a pretty frustrating experience. And if you think that's human you're interacting with, it will be confusing. But if you have a situation where actually with every conversation you're having, there is potential for a human to be checking that and approving it or answering anything, and then the bot's just there in the background helping answer the simple stuff. So we have a bot at Conversocial called Navigator, which we have dozens and dozens of clients on. And basically the bot sits at the beginning of the messaging conversation when someone first comes in, and it just finds out what problem they have, collects relevant information. It's like, okay, we need your order number. And then takes it to a human agent who actually resolves the issue, but they have all the information there in front of them. And it's just a really seamless way of making sure the human agent can resolve the issue much faster and more easily. And in that situation, I don't think you need to say, it's the bot, now it's handing to a human. It's just part of the same flow. If you were trying to build a bot that did everything, I think it makes sense.
Joshua March, founder and CEO of Conversocial, and author of Message Me. I've really appreciated your time, Joshua. You're certainly helping us navigate the space of the new trends in messaging and social media. If somebody wants to connect with you, how can they do that?
The easiest way is on Twitter. I'm just at Joshua March, March. You can follow me, DM me, links to all the websites, and you can obviously check us out at conversocial.com as well.
Thanks again. And if you guys want to connect with me, you can. I'm right here on ZDNet or Tech Republic, or maybe find me by going to tonyahall.net. I've got links to all my social sites. Thanks for watching.